The Barons of Memphis, Marnie Gellhorn.
Chapter 11. It's not Memphis State anymore. After fleeing Memphis for my sanity, I struggled to find work in my field. Journalism had changed greatly since the advent of the internet. Paying by clicks didn't promote investigative journalism. Sensationalism and tabloid reporting became staples for most working writers. Instead of reporting on international conflicts, I'd stumbled a bit, especially after the Fox News incident and my stint at the financially failing Commercial Appeal. After several months of anxiety and sleepless nights, I finally landed as a travel writer. I'd returned home to California and was writing travel logs for a small boutique magazine in Sonoma. Most of the time, I wrote copy on wine country exploits, which were then sent to hotels, bed and breakfasts, and other tourist locations. Every once in a while, I dig up some more esoteric information for a different kind of article, or have an article sent to one of the bigger Bay Area outlets. But for the most part, I felt prematurely retired. It paid the bills, but I could feel my spirit fading with each reiteration of the same tired information. It hadn't gotten worse during the pandemic in some ways, as tourism died, but it had also encouraged our editors to include a wider array of content too. We were drinking coffee on our morning Zoom video, talking about odd gossipy tidbits in the news. Jason, one of our photographers, brought up a strange story from back east. Did you hear about the guy in Memphis with the Norman Bates setup? That's some creepy stuff. He paused, then asked, laughing, Marnie, isn't that your old stomping ground? I don't suppose you know this weirdo, do you? He's supposed to be some well-connected Southern gentry country club type. His name is Hunter something. He continued as I felt all the blood drain from my face. It may be Zoom, but my sudden silence on the other end of the video, along with my stricken look, grabbed the attention of the other attendees, including our editor-in-chief, who had just logged on. Quickly, Jason filled him in with some of the eccentricities of the case. And how do you know Hunter Barron III? The editor, Court Beckham, said in his best Thurston Howell voice. Well, he's the reason I left Memphis, I said, unwilling to put a label on the sick, twisted relationship we had. Then there was a moment of silence among all 8 of us on the call. Court said again. And didn't you write that book investigating that scandal overseas a couple of years ago? I nodded on screen, unable to verbalize. Another few uncomfortable moments passed. I could see the other meeting participants had muted their screens and were doodling or unabashedly scrolling through their phones. Well, Marnie, this could really be something. I'm going to talk to my contact at Mercury News, but I think you're going back to Memphis. I must have made a face that he could see on camera because he looked at me and continued, Come on, Marnie. Where's that Gellhorn spirit? This could be your own view from the ground. That's how I ended up writing what started as serialized essays and ended up as a book about a man, his mama, and mummified remains.
This episode was narrated by Zeporia Gray of RMP Studios in Memphis, Tennessee.